So what does Xero do? Xero is a cloud-based accounting software package. So because it's cloud-based, that means you can access it from anywhere, and it automates a lot of your bookkeeping tasks for you so you can get your bookkeeping done quicker. So let's have a look at what Xero looks like and the features that it offers that can help you with your bookkeeping. Much like any piece of software, there's lots of things that Xero can do, and there's lots of different functionalities. And because of this, it can feel daunting and overwhelming to new users. However, if you are new to Xero, you're only going to want to understand the basics that you need to do for your business. So in this video, I'm not going to cover every single part of Xero. I'm only going to cover the parts that you, as a small business owner, will need to learn for your bookkeeping. So we have the dashboard when you first log into Xero, and this is their demo account, which you will have access to. When you first log into Xero, you will see the dashboard, and we'll come back to things on the dashboard slightly later. But the first thing you want to do when you log into Xero is by your company name on the top left, click on the drop down arrow and go to settings, because you want to set up information about your organization in Xero in the background. So there's two different columns here. We've got general settings, and then we've got the features on the right hand side. Under organization details, this is where you want to put in your company display name. So this is the name that displays on the top left here. It's just an internal display name, but most people will put their actual company name. You're going to put your legal trading name here, and this is what will appear on your invoices to your customers. You can then upload your logo. You can put in a description about what your business does and what type of company you are using the drop-down menu. Demo company set up as a limited company. You'll put your limited company registration number, and you might put a description in there. And then you're going to put your postal address and your physical address if it's different from your postal address. You can put your phone number, an email, and a website if you want to. So let's go back to the organization settings and look at the users settings. Now in here, this is where you will see who has access to your Xero account. So at the moment, myself, Claire James, have access to the Xero demo account under my demo training login. You can invite users in to Xero from this screen. So if you've got someone helping you with your bookkeeping, you would invite them here. You can also invite Xero support in here if you ever need to contact them. And when you're working with your accountant at the year end, you would invite them here as well. Now, because this is the demo company, it hasn't got the invite button, but there'll be a big green button on the right-hand side here, which would say invite user. Let's go back to organization settings. Now, if you've got one of the higher paid plans, you would have access to foreign currencies, and this is where you would manage your foreign currency. If you need to add different currency rates, you would put that in here. But we're not going to cover that because as a small business owner, it's going to be easier for you for now to just stick to GBP. And then connected apps. If you wanted to connect any third-party apps into Xero, this is where you would do it. And there's lots of things that you can connect to Xero. So as a small business owner, to keep your bookkeeping Xero at this stage, there's nothing that I suggest you're going to need to connect right now. You might change that going forward, and I'll do some more videos to show you the types of apps you can connect, but you don't have to connect anything to Xero and to be able to use it for your bookkeeping. So let's go back to settings. And let's look down the features side, invoice settings. This is where you can set up what your invoices will look like. So you can have different invoice templates. This is the demo system. They've got a nice demo logo here, and they also have an orange logo because they've got an orange demo company. So you can add your own logo here. You can add your company contact details. You can tailor some of the names of the fields, and most importantly, under the terms and payment advice, you can put your bank details. So this is if you want your customers to pay you by direct bank transfer, you can put those details in here. And you can also put any terms and conditions that you want to appear on your invoice, such as payment due within 14 days or payment due within 30 days. If we just cancel out of that and go back to organisation settings, payment services. So you want to make it as easy as possible for your customers to pay you. And we're all used to making payments on our phone and making payments online now. And this is where you can set up those integrations. So you can connect to PayPal, you can connect to Go Cardless, so that's for direct debit and recurring payments. You can connect to Stripe, so this is where a customer would click on your invoice and click Pay Now, and it would take them off to a Stripe website where they add their bank details and they can make the payments online that way. So you might want to think about connecting some of those payment services to make it easier for your customers to pay you. If we go back to organisation settings, under email settings, this is where you can edit the templates that get sent to your customers. So if we look under templates, and we'll just choose the sales invoice for now. When you send an invoice to a customer, this is the default email that will go with that invoice. And you can edit this. You can edit it here, or you can edit it at the time of sending the invoice. So have a little look through some of these basic email templates and see if you want to change any of them. If we go back to email settings, payroll, so I'm not going to cover payroll in this video, but that's where you add your payroll expenses. There is an expenses module within Xero, so if you have staff working for you, you can set up an expenses module so they can submit their expenses. But again, I won't cover that in this video. Xero to Xero is where if your customers or your suppliers also use Xero, you can send bills and invoices between the Xero accounts. Saves you emailing them. So that's a handy feature, but again, not something we'll cover in this demo for beginners. Same with custom contact links. I'm not going to cover that in this video. So if we head back to the dashboard, in the demo company, they have already linked a business bank account and a business savings account. Now, you definitely want to do this because one of the main benefits of having online software like Xero is it can connect to your bank account and it will pull transactions in from your bank account into Xero every day. You've got an account watch list where you can keep an eye on important numbers within your business. Invoices owed to you. Now, these are the customers that owe you money, and anything that's red is overdue and anything that's black is not due yet. Then we've got expense claims. If you have staff and they have submitted expenses, it would show down there. So what else do you need to know about Xero as a small business owner doing your own bookkeeping? You will want to know how to raise invoices to your customers. There's lots of different ways of doing this in Xero, but I like to use the plus button. You can access lots of features within Xero directly from the plus button. And we want to create an invoice to a customer. So this is the invoicing screen, and we're going to say, who do we want to send the invoice to? Once you've been using Xero for a while, all of your customers will already be in the system. But if you're new to Xero, you won't have a list here. But let's say we want to invoice ABC Furniture. It defaults to today's date, but you can change that to today, tomorrow, or pick another date. Let's leave it at today. Due date is assumed that it's due immediately, so it's got today's date, but you can decide what your payment terms are. So let's say it's due in 7 days. Xero has automatically assigned it the next invoice number. If you wanted to put a reference number here, you can. This could be an internal reference number to you, or it could be a reference number that means something to your customer. The Manage Online Payments, now this will take you back to the screen that we've previously looked at where you can set up your payment methods such as Stripe, Go Cardless and PayPal, etc. Currency, we're going to stick with British pounds, but if you had currency set up, you would have some options here in your drop-down menu. And your branding theme, this is picked up from your invoice templates, which we looked at. And you can have different branding themes. And then you would put a description in here, which tells ABC Furniture what they have purchased from you. So let's say they've purchased some consultancy services, and they had 2 days and your day rate is £500. Now, because you're raising a sales invoice, the account has automatically defaulted to sales. So that's great, we'll leave it there. And for the purposes of this video, we will assume that we are VAT registered and therefore it has defaulted to 20% VAT on income. Just be careful about this box here where it's got amounts are tax inclusive. So we have charged this customer 2 days at £500, which is £1,000. And because we have selected tax inclusive, that £1,000 includes the VAT. The chances are you probably quoted your customer £500 a day plus VAT. So you want to make sure that that box there is tax exclusive and then will plus the VAT. Add the VAT onto your day rate. And that's your invoice raised. And then you can preview the invoice to see what it will look like when your customer gets the invoice. And if you are happy with that, you can approve and email the invoice to your customer. So this is that screen that we saw earlier in the email settings, the default email that goes out with every invoice, and you can edit that here. So instead of saying here's invoice, you might want to say please find attached your invoice, etc. You can change all of the wordings here and then make sure you've got their email address and you will just send that invoice to that customer. So let's go back to the dashboard and let's look at all the customers that owe us money. So it's in the invoices owed to you section. If we click on the red figure here, and if you right mouse click within Xero and open link in a new tab, it creates a new tab for you. So you haven't lost that tab there, it's still there. And it's taken us to the awaiting payments tab, and you can see here all the customers that owe you money and they're all overdue, so they've all turned red. So you can go and chase those customers. So it's important to keep on top of chasing your clients for money, and you can do that easily within Xero by sending invoice reminders. If you click on this button here, we've got invoice reminders off. This is where you can set up invoice reminder emails to go out to your customers. And you can edit these variables here. So the default is it will send an email chaser after 7 days, 14 days, and 21 days. And you can add another one. You can have up to 5 different reminder templates, but you can edit the number of days that you chase after its due date, and you can edit the wording here. So it's worth thinking about that. If you've got customers that always need a nudge before they send you payment, set up these chaser emails and it will save you chasing your customers. Now, if we head back to the dashboard, the next thing you want to know how to do as a small business owner is to put your bills onto Xero, and these are the supplier bills that you need to pay. So let's look at how you would add a supplier bill to Xero. We'll go back to the plus button and we will select bill. And the bill screen is very similar to the screen that we saw when we were raising an invoice. So let's say we had a bill from Smart Agency. They've sent us a bill. They have a due date of 30 days and the invoice or the bill reference number is invoice 1234. We're going to put a description in here. Now, Smart Agency could be an IT provider, and they've provided us with £250 IT support. So where are we going to code this? So it's an IT software support. So if we start typing software, Xero has got a IT software and consumables account already set up in the system. So we're going to select that one. And this supplier is VAT registered. So we're going to leave the default there. And that's how you would manually enter a bill. Now in Xero, there's lots of ways to automate the entry of your bills. It's very unlikely that you will manually enter one from scratch, as I have just showed you now. And I'll be doing other videos to show you how you can automate this side of your bookkeeping, and it will save you lots of time if you do that. So let's go back to our dashboard. And if we scroll down to bills you need to pay, we can have a look at all the outstanding bills. And again, anything that's red means it's overdue for payment. So we probably want to keep our suppliers happy and go and pay these supplier invoices. Okay, so just to recap, we've gone through some of the settings where you can put your basic information in about your company. We've spoken about the bank feeds, and we've looked at how you would raise a customer invoice and how you would enter your supplier bills. Let's look further into these bank accounts and how you get these set up. If you go into the accounting menu and bank accounts, this is where you will add a new bank account. So if we click on the plus button, add bank account, and let's say we bank with HSBC. We've got a HSBC business bank account in the UK. It will then ask you to connect Xero to your HSBC bank account. So obviously, because this is a demo company, we cannot connect our bank account, but you would just click here, agree, and log into your bank account. You would log into your bank with your normal banking details, login details, and that would then connect Xero to your HSBC bank account. Now, please remember that this is a one-way only connection. Xero will draw transactions in from your bank account every day. From this connection, it does not push transactions back to your bank account. So if you're thinking you would like to make your payments to your suppliers from this connection only, you cannot do that directly from Xero. You would have to go into your actual bank account and pay your suppliers. Now, there is a different functionality within Xero, an add-on that you can connect to Xero that will make your payments from Xero to your bank account using a third-party app in the middle. But this basic bank connection is a one-way feed only, and will just pull transactions into Xero. So once you have your bank account synced with Xero and it starts pulling transactions in, you will then want to reconcile your bank account. So let's have a look and see how you would do that. So there's two parts of the bank account reconciliation screen. On the left-hand side, these are the transactions that it has sucked in from your actual bank account into Xero. So this is a copy of your bank statement. And on the right-hand side, this is what Xero is trying to match those transactions to. And in an ideal world, everything would match and everything would be green, just like we can see for the Ridgeway University and the Truxton Property Management. If an item is green, that means there is something in Xero that matches exactly the transaction on your bank account. So for Ridgeway University, we're absolutely happy that Ridgeway University have made a payment to us, and they've paid their invoice number 0035. So what we would now do, we would now click OK to say that that invoice has been paid. And this is on the opposite side of the bank account. So this is a spend money. So we have paid money to Truxton Property, and there is an invoice within Xero that has been marked as paid to Truxton Property, and Xero has matched it against that spend money there. So we're happy, and we're just going to click OK. So this is how you go through and reconcile your bank account. And I'll do further videos on this to show you what you would do if items are not green, as these ones are here, and how you can speed this process up. So what else will you need to know as a small business owner using Xero? There's a couple of reports you want to look at. If you go into the accounting menu, you're going to want to look at your profit and loss account. So let's have a quick look at that one in the demo company. And the profit and loss account will list all of your sales, all of your turnover, all of your cost of sales, so your purchases, and all of your administrative costs, all of your overheads and expenses. And at the bottom, you'll get a profit before and after tax. And there's no tax that's been posted in Xero yet, so the profit is the same at the moment, £13,225. It's a good idea to keep an eye on your profit and loss report, probably run it once a month to see how your business is getting on. And I'll do other videos on the reports because there's lots you can do with the reports and lots of other things you can look at. But the other one that you may want to look at is your balance sheet. And if you're familiar with a balance sheet, you will understand this. I won't cover it in this video, but the balance sheet shows all of your assets and all of your liabilities and your equity or your capital and reserves. I'll cover those on a different video because that's quite a complicated area of accounting. So if we go back to the dashboard, in this video we have looked at the settings under here, under your company name, and this is where you want to enter the basic information about your company. We've looked at the dashboard. We can keep an eye on your bank account, invoices owed to you, and the bills you need to pay. We've looked at how to add an invoice and send it to your customer by clicking on the plus button and creating a new invoice. And then we've looked at adding bills to Xero. And then we looked at how you would keep an eye on the customers that owe you money and the bills you need to pay. And then we had a quick look at, under the accounting menu, the profit and loss account and the balance sheet. So as mentioned at the start of this video, this is just a beginner's guide to Xero, the basics that you need to understand when you're first starting to use Xero. If you found this video useful, please like, subscribe and follow for more. Until next time, thank you for watching.